Hello, 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 my good people. Praise the Lord. It's been a while. But anyway, I've been good. Don't mind my hair. I'm doing my hair. But I've been good. The Lord has been great. The Lord has been faithful. His mercies endures forever. His love is just immense. And I'm grateful for everything. So while I was doing my hair, I was meditating and thinking of some verses, meditating on the word as well. And I was going through, okay, it's not just right now, but for some days, this story of Abraham sacrificing his son Isaac has been ringing in my mind so much. So I I was thinking about it and going through it, but there's somewhere that stuck and got my attention in all the preparation and instructions that God gave Abraham on how to sacrifice his son. He never questioned God. He prepared everything. He took everything that he needed for the sacrifice and he went with his son. And he got to a point where he went he was supposed to go and sacrifice his son, arrange everything, and he laid his son up there. And when the time came that he had to lift his knife to sacrifice his son, God called upon Abraham and told him that he has already provided a lamb for him to sacrifice. I know you've all read the story, you've heard about it if you've not read about it. But I'm looking at it in a different way. The revelation that I'm getting of it today is different, and I feel like encouraging someone as well from it, that God is always faithful, He will always provide. From the Revised Standard Version that I'm reading right now, if you allow me, let me see. Yes, that is in Genesis chapter 22, verses number 8. It is said, Abraham said, this is after the son asked and questioned him where the sacrifice that they are going to sacrifice is. There is no lamb. They never carried any lamb. So this is what Abraham told his son. Verse number 8. Abraham said, God will provide himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son. God shall provide. And then came the time that he was sacrificing his son. And then came the time that God really came through and did fulfill the word of his servant Abraham, that God will provide. He fulfilled it in the verse and the angel of the Lord, yes, from verse number 11, he says, but the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, here I am. He said, do not lay your hand on the lad or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it as a burnt offering instead of his son. That's where I want us to dwell in. God has already provided. You've been praying, you've been asking, and God has already heard you. But there's a catch. God has already provided the lamp. God has already provided you the blessings. God has already answered your prayers. But you have to walk and go get the lamp yourself. You have to go get the lamb out of the thick thorns and the bushes. So I'm trying to imagine it. As being raised in a place, and at times going to the village, I have gone in the field to for grazing. I've grazed, and if there's anything that is usually very hard to graze, man, it's the goats, the sheep. They are always, the sheep is known to be a very quiet one, but believe you me, when they start running, utakimbia, you will run. But that's not the point. I'm trying to imagine where you tie the lamb. When you go for the grazing, or when you go tie in the field, usually try it in the strong branch, or in the strong trees, that even when they pull it, it will not be broken, the rope will not break, the tree or the trunk, or where you've tied the rope to hold it back, will not be broken. And if it's in the forest or in the bush where you're going to do it, definitely by the end of it, by the time ufungue hiyo kamba, by the time you untie it, you've been scratched. You've been scratched. You've been, all the thorns will just poke you, if that is the right word to use, I don't know. And you'll be even be stung by a lot of things. You might even end up standing and stepping on hands, and they bite you, or name it. For those who have grazed, understand what I'm talking about. But what I'm looking at is, when Abraham looked back, that is when he realized the lamb has already been provided for him to sacrifice. And he had to go get the lamb. And he had to remove it from verse 13. It says, and Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him was a ram, caught in the thickest by his horns. Haha. Let me read the King James. I love King James version. I usually find it very, very interesting to read King James. King James, chapter number 22, Genesis 22, verses number 13. It says in King James, it says, and Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his thorns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering. So it's still the same word that they've used in the Revised Standard on that verse. But my point here is, he looked back, and that is when he saw his blessings, and he had to walk to go get the lamp. And it was in a thick, the horns were in the bush, they were tied up. So my point today, and I want to tell you that your blessings have already arrived, but you have to look back, because you've been going your own way. You've been looking where you're supposed to sacrifice that which God doesn't want you to sacrifice. You have to look back and foresee the fulfillment of what you've been praying for, because it was already provided for. It is only you that have not been looking where it is supposed to be. And when you open your eyes and see, it is when you have to go get it yourself. You have seen the blessings, go get your blessings. And believe you me, in going getting the blessings, it's not easy, because it is tied up in the thickest bushes. You will end up being scratched. By the time you get your lamb that you need to sacrifice, you will be scratched by people. By the time you get the lamb that you're supposed to sacrifice, you will be discouraged by people. By the time you get the blessings that you're supposed to get, you will be crushed by many things. Don't get disappointed. Don't feel down. Don't give up. Don't give up, because your blessings have already been provided. But the process is you have to go get it yourself. And by the time you get it, you will be scratcher. You will not get it easily. The blessings have already been provided, but it is not an easy way. And I want to connect it with the woman that had a blood issue. I remember there was a time, some Sundays back, I was preaching this, and this has connected right now as I was sharing this. And I feel like encouraging and topping it up to you that this woman had suffered for 12 years. Being a woman, I understand that the time that we have the menstruation period, it is usually the most stressful time. It is usually the most disgusting moment. It is usually the most painful moment for those who usually have painful cramps. But this woman had already heard about Jesus. This time, Jesus had already come to where she was, and she purposed to go and touch Jesus herself. And she told herself that I have to go and touch Jesus myself and see for myself. It has to come a time that you have to purpose to go yourself and touch Jesus yourself and see what will happen, because you have already purposed. Abraham decided to go and get the lamb. The woman decided to go and touch Jesus herself. And when she got there, there were many people surrounding Jesus, but she pulled through and she touched Jesus, and Jesus felt a different touch that day. Everybody was just pushing him around and around and touching him, but this woman touched Jesus with a different touch. May you turn and go and get your blessings. But I tell you, by the time you get to your blessings, by the time you go and get to touch Jesus, there are people you have to bring out of the way. There are things that you need to remove out of your way so that you can just touch the hem of it. You don't need to hug him. You don't need to embrace it. You don't need to. The only thing that you have to touch by faith, and you shall receive it. I don't know who I am talking to. I am talking to myself as well. This has been encouraging me. This has been pushing me. This has been taking me somewhere for at least a month now. And I know my blessings have already been provided. I'm in the process where I need to be scratched by those thorns as I get my ram out of my lamp and my ram out of that bush that is so thick that is hindering me from getting my blessings. You are in the process of being stitched and being beaten. You are in that process of being even betrayed. You are in the process of even feeling that you are being isolated. You are in the process of feeling that you are being left out. You are being neglected. But that is the process that you have to go through so that you can touch and remove that which blessings is yours and sacrifice the lamb. You have to remove and squeeze yourself in the middle of the crowd that is gathered around Jesus so that you can touch Jesus yourself, and his power will come directly to you. Because in that process, when the woman touched Jesus, Jesus said, I know someone has touched me because I have felt power leaving me. Hey, there is power of Jesus that will leave him and touch you and get into you the moment you touch him. But the process is not going to be easy. I assure you, it's not going to be easy. But there is an assurance that there is an instant healing. There is an instant feeling that there is something new that has happened to me. And I can imagine the joy that Abraham felt, that he doesn't have to sacrifice his son anymore, because the lamp has already been provided. The lamp has already been provided for you. So turn, go, walk yourself. Don't let anybody else go, because they will get the blessings themselves. This woman had gone all the way to different hospitals, to different physicians. She had given up and wasted everything that she had. But the moment that Jesus came to her location, hey, she decided and purposed to touch Jesus herself, and she felt instant healing and felt something different has happened in me. And when Abraham looked back, he decided to walk and go remove the lamb from where it was in the thickest. The horns were tied in the thickest bush. He had to remove. Maybe he had to break the branches so that he can remove it. He had to break the shrub The lamp is usually a small thing, but usually very fat, and a shrub is usually very small, but it's usually very thick. So you can imagine you have to remove, and it's usually very thorny. Nothing comes easily. So you have to break, and the moment you have to break to remove the horns of your blessing so that you can have your ram to sacrifice, you will be stung. You will be scratched by the thorns. People will hurt you. People will hurt you. People will leave you. But doesn't matter. Break them out if you have to break them. Push them away so that you can touch Jesus, because you know it is yours and you have got the sacrifice, and it is yours to take and not anybody else to take. So that is all. I feel I hope you've been blessed by that. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Let me get back to my hair and doing my hair. Ooh, I need to finish this, but I had to stop that so that I can share that. And I hope you've been blessed. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Oof. I've just remembered there is in one of my list of songs that I have composed, I have two that says Nino kangu thaithe, nino kangu thaithe, Yesu wakwa nino kaninyo kangu thaithe. Simply for those who doesn't understand, hey, my language, it says I have come to worship, and it's just me alone. Then there is another one in yeah, it's still in Kamba. It says why is it running away, and that is the best that will connect with the what we are talking about, or sharing and encouraging each other with. It says it goes like na 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 na. Oh, it's running away, but it is all about God. You will not need to ask anybody about Jesus. You have to go yourself. Hey, I don't know why that song is disappearing. Oh, but I now see it's a powerful song, and I will minister to you one day with these songs that I have been keeping to myself. But I know that very soon I'm going to record them, and they're going to bless you. It is up to you to turn, look back, walk to your blessings, fight whatever you have to fight, remove the shrubs, remove the thorns, no matter how much they're going to scratch you, no matter how much you're going to bleed, no matter how much the wounds you're going to get. But by the end of the day, your blessings are already been released. You have to walk yourself to Jesus and touch him. Run, 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 run. Your blessing has already been released, but there is a process. The process is the tough one, but it is worth it by the end of the day. God bless you. Like, share, subscribe, comment where we have the comment section. Kindly share this and let someone else be blessed by this as well. I love you, and until next time, bye bye. God bless you, and I love you all.